shut the fuck up and listen. So many times when I was running my business, I had employees running around and I'd just ask them a question, I'd get an answer, or they would ask me a question, I'd just give them an answer. It wasn't until I started to really pay attention and start to realize that these guys were actually, sometimes they had good days, sometimes they had bad days. I think it's your job as a leader to try and pick these people up during those bad days and start to really listen to what's going on in the environment in your office. I remember a little while ago, one of my young guys came in. He always comes in the office early. He came in office one morning. I was like, hey mate, how's it going? And I just got this, yeah, not bad, and walked into his room. So the old Aaron would have just carried on with business, went, oh, he's in a bad mood, and just went on to something else and answered emails and took phone calls. But I stopped what I was doing and I grabbed him and I said, mate, come grab a coffee. And he's like, okay, bit off. Took him downstairs. I kept my phone in my pocket the whole time. I just sat there, I was present with him. I spoke to him. I started talking to him about, what's going on in your life, how you liking the company, where are you heading, what are your goals this year. Spoke to him a little bit about mine. And then I just started putting things into perspective for him, about gratitude and stuff like that. So, a really, really good point that I exercise to him is something that I do personally every morning and afternoon is I start to sit down and I list all the things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for having fresh water. I'm grateful for having fresh food available to us. It's a privilege to be able to go to the tap and pour fresh water. It's a privilege for us to go, do I want Indian? Do I want Thai? Do I want a pizza? Do I want this? Do I want fresh veggies? That's a privilege to be able to have that choice. Being able to have arms and legs and to walk around, to have a voice, to be able to listen, to be able to see. These are all things that I'm grateful for every day. The people in my life, the help that I get from everyone, the wealth that just flows into my life. I'm grateful for my family, all these things. And I just started rattling them off to him, and I just started noticing this kid's demeanor just change. He just started to stand a little bit taller, started to be a little bit less down. And when I put all those things into perspective for him, the kid stood taller and he was just all of a sudden grateful, not only for the things that he has in his life, but he was grateful for me being present with him and just to have that one-on-one session with him. And I can guarantee you from that day forward, he already had respect for me, but the respect was now up here. And I could see, he'd come in the next day after that and he was actually feeling sick before that. And he came in the next day and he's like, Aaron, I feel better. My sickness just went away overnight. I feel good. That gratitude stuff really works. And I was like, yes, mate. I can't remember the last time I was sick ever since I started doing it. It's crazy. You can fly through life and ignore people and just see them as a quick once-off transaction and fob them off just like that. Or you can shut the f up and listen and pay attention to the states that people are in and just give them that little tiny, that little tiny piece of the day, understand them, they're human beings, and just help them to put things in perspective. Sometimes I myself will get worked up and bogged down, and it's not until I sit down all by myself and I start to realize wow, why am I letting someone get to me? Or why am I letting this idea get to me? And why am I letting that get to me? And it comes down to being out of sync with myself and not being grateful for things that are happening in my life. So one of the great things that I learned was being present with people, listening to them, connecting to them, understanding what they're going through and helping them pick them up as a great leader.